Now, I want you to picture this. You are a popular content creator who is trusted by a large part of the YouTube community. You have a reputation not only for making high quality content, but also for having a high level of credibility. Do you A. continue making content and behave like an honest internet user, or B. screw it all up in a space of, let's say, about a week and destroy what is left of your reputation? Obviously, unless you're a masochist, the answer is A. But unfortunately, not everyone is as mentally and intellectually stable as you may be. And so today, I wanted to take a look at an individual who had everything: a supportive community, lots of contacts, and a reputation for being trustworthy, and how instead of growing as a person and increasing his status, he destroyed it in a matter of days. That individual is, of course, John Swan. At one point, he was one of the most prominent YouTubers to have blown up recently thanks to his video essay style videos, riding off the wave that saw other creators such as Turkey Tom and Sunny V2 attain massive popularity. His videos on people such as Suzy Liu and Chris Hansen were seen as high quality, not just in terms of production value, but also in terms of the information presented. This, compounded by the harassment that John experienced from these people, made him look like a highly credible source. However, as you may have noticed by the title of the video, that period of prosperity didn't last forever, as in a span of just a week, John would completely destroy his reputation and irreparably damage his career. Now, I should point out that Swan is no stranger to controversy. In 2021, John got himself into a lot of hot water when Minecraft YouTuber Dream accused Swan of impersonating him on Discord and sending inappropriate messages to other users. Swan initially denied it and claimed that the messages were sent by his 12-year-old cousin, and for a time, the commentary community sided with him, with YouTubers such as Augie RFC, Optimus, Boblax, Nicholas Diorio, and Jaden speaking out in support of John. However, Diorio later posted a Twitter thread in which she revealed that he had been shown proof that Swan lied about everything. It was also later revealed that John's 12-year-old cousin didn't actually exist. Soon afterwards, John tweeted out a half-arsed apology and took several months of YouTube. I would call John mentally disabled, but that would be offensive to mentally disabled people. Overall, the John, Swan, and Dream situation saw the former's credibility being severely damaged, and so one would assume that after this, John would change as a person and stop lying to his audience. Unfortunately, it seems that John has as much intellectual ability as Harvey Price, because just a year later, John would get into an even bigger controversy that would see him officially cast out of the commentary community and send his channel into a downward spiral. On the 17th of April 2022, a Twitter account by the name of Haha Yeah posted a Google Doc in which an individual by the name of Liz accused a commentary YouTuber by the name of Camy, who was a friend of John Swan at the time, of grooming her when she was 16, with Camy being 18 at the time, as well as providing screenshots in order to solidify her case. At the same time, John Swan was sending messages on Discord writing that he had the biggest bombshell in the history of bombshells, and also posting memes calling Camy a predator. If that sounds suspicious, it's because it plainly fucking is. The document would garner the attention of fellow YouTuber Destiny, who after criticizing it on stream called up John and asked him if he had any role in making it, to which he responded by denying it.
What's up, John Swan? How you doing, my dude?
My name was like brought up here like a few times. What's going on?
Were you involved in the creation of a document against Camy?
That's a yes.
I was not directly involved.
Oh god.
John continued to claim innocence until people found a way to see the edits made to the document, which revealed that far from having no role in making it, John was responsible for writing 50% of the final product.
I'm gonna be honest about the involvement that I had in this was so extremely minimal.
So let's have a look at one of those minor changes, as John Swan likes to call them. What Liz said. After this, it continued. He made jokes and started liking it after I asked him if he did. He continued on and tried asking me if it was okay multiple times. He's aware of my age, by the way, so he kept asking if it was weird or not, and I tell him I didn't think it was weird. I really didn't think much of it. As it continued on, he said he was very hard. You could say he basically told me he was pleasured by what I was saying to him. John's version. Cam used me for his own sexual pleasure when I was in a vulnerable state. He knew what he was doing was wrong, comparing his actions to those of people who have been cancelled from the community. He said how I made made him happy. He called me cute, said I was his darling, and he made me feel appreciated and loved. But all he ever wanted was sexual pleasure, and he used me to get what he wanted. I am ashamed that I ever took part in any of it. Honestly, he might have as well transformed this into a Stephen King inspired horror story at this point. Like seriously, the disparity between what Liz wrote and what John replaced it with is beyond enormous. I just want to point out that nowhere in the text messages was there any sort of indication that Camy was forcing Liz to do anything. He himself was asking if it was okay to continue the relationship. In my opinion, I think it's still weird that a 16-year-old and an 18-year-old are having such conversations, but would I consider this grooming? No, I wouldn't. Saying that Camy groomed Liz is like saying that Vince Cut is a terrorist. It just breaks all bounds of absurdity. Following the reveal that John did in fact participate in the creation of the document, more evidence was leaked that painted a picture of John as nothing short of psychotic. The first exhibit is this exchange between Liz and John after the former had told the latter about Camy. Swan: okay, there are two ways you can go with this. One I believe is a lot better than the other, but they both have upsides and downsides to it. Liz: alright. Swan: option 1 is you stay completely anonymous and have someone else write a Google Doc on your behalf. The downsides to this is that people may not believe it because they haven't seen a real victim. If it's all anonymous, how do they know it's not all made up? It will probably lead to a lot of people doubting the story. However, at the same time, it saves you public embarrassment and from you having to do anything at all. Option 2 is to release something yourself, maybe in conjunction with someone else's document or with your own. Obviously, this means that your name will be thrown around when talking about the stuff. I can recognize that the screenshots are pretty embarrassing, and having that stuff attached to your name online is definitely not optimal, but I do believe it's the best option because it ensures that everything is perfectly watertight with no room for doubt or for Cam to get a way out. Instead of giving her actual advice, like say going to the police or telling her parents, John suggests that she either release a Google Doc anonymously or release a Google Doc with her real identity attached. There is just no limit to degeneracy in this world, is there? We are talking about a potential grooming situation, not someone saying a racial slur. So why, in the name of fuck, is John telling her to make a Google Doc instead of talking to a parent or the police and dealing with the situation properly? My theory is that John was trying to get Liz to make a Google Doc so that he could have his next video topic, because a friend being exposed as a predator would undoubtedly get lots of views and increase John's profile in the commentary community even more. I don't actually believe that John intended to help Liz in any way, because if he did, he wouldn't have given her such retarded advice. The second exhibit is a call between Camy and John, where Camy explained that he asked Liz if they should continue the relationship in a text, and John responds by saying that he didn't see those messages.
I read the document in the call with a few different people, and there was a few DMs in there that sort of like made like that sort of like broke the narrative apart that you guys are like trying to like paint. So she was comfortable with this like a few days ago, and then she goes and makes a document about it. Okay, I think that's I think that's
I don't remember this message you're talking about.
it was I mean, I can try and find an archive of
I may not have, to be fair, I did not read all of them. I don't know why she just, like...
You feel lied to.
Very much so.
So, not only does John admit that he didn't see all the evidence, but he also tries to shift the blame onto Liz. There is honestly no way this man isn't a sociopathic retard, because how else can I describe an individual who tells a person to make a Google Doc and contributes a lot to it, like about 60% or 50% of it, only to try and throw that person he was helping under the bus once he gets caught. The third exhibit is a text message John sent to a leaker on WhatsApp, which reads, "I was only trying to help the girl in all of this because I believed she had been wronged. That's what she told me. It had nothing to do with hating Cam. We were all misled, and I only did things with the best of intentions." Once again, trying to shift the blame from himself onto Liz. Truly a master of being a shithead. I'm sorry that my memory of that night was fuzzy. When I get put into stressful situations, my memory of those events just erode. It's the way my brain copes with intensely stressful shit like this. If I can't remember it, it doesn't affect me. I did not remember writing paragraphs. Most of it was done in a call, and I didn't have access to the edit history of the doc to verify anything. I'll admit, I fucked up there. Knowingly or not, I fucked up. I should have known better when things were fuzzy to not make any definitive statements. That's entirely my fault. I'm sorry. You probably won't believe me, but that's the truth. I should have listened to my gut, but I didn't. This once again contradicts John's claim that he had any role to play in the doc. He comes off as someone desperate to salvage his reputation and only sorry because he got caught lying, not because he developed a conscience, like an actual sane human being. Swan once again displays this amazing superpower, which is called being a terrible liar. Here he says that he was stressed the night Liz made her accusations, and therefore doesn't remember much of what happened, including writing the doc. If that's the case, then how come he wrote this message? I would maybe replace the third paragraph of your statement if that's okay. I think we cover all of that in the doc itself. I feel like it's missing a conclusion kinda, like something about holding him accountable. He obviously does remember what happened the night Liz told him about Camy, because he clearly read the paragraph and gave advice to Liz on what to write. It just amazes me how much of a scumbag this individual is to continue lying after he literally got caught trying to destroy his friend's entire life for his own selfish and sick needs. Now, I should mention that John Swan wasn't the only one who had a role in this. Another YouTuber called Dr. Skipper, whom Swan had consulted prior to the release of the document, began to release tweets targeted at Camy, alleging that his career was about to be game-ended. Following the discovery that the document was bullshit, Skipper went dark and was subsequently called out for helping spread the slander, to which he responded by stating that he never saw the document, which is a blatant lie because John literally asked him for advice about it. Following the reveal that John Swan was indeed behind the slanderous document, he posted a tweet in which he calls his slander the truth and accuses his critics of lacking basic critical thinking, which is pretty ironic if you ask me, because he then says, if you believe people who are clearly making up shit to get back at me, I don't want you following me anyway. It's like he has deluded himself into thinking that everyone is out to get him, when in reality he is just being held accountable. As of now, John is still uploading to YouTube, but his most recent videos have gained less views than the ones before the Camy drama, and he has also lost a couple of thousands of subs, and it's most likely that his channel will continue to decline from here. The story of John Swan has been described by many as a tragedy. I disagree with that view, because you can sympathize with tragic heroes, but it's impossible to sympathize with a degenerate like John Swan, who attempted to destroy his friend's life in order to satisfy his own selfish needs. However, there is one element in this whole story that does make it tragic. The destruction of John Swan was 100% John's own doing. John used his power and status as a prominent content creator in order to manipulate Liz into making the slanderous document and try and destroy his friend's entire life. He is responsible for his own downfall, and even if he does claim to be a changed person, I doubt anyone besides his most loyal fanbase would believe him. So anyway guys, that is the end of this video. Thank you all so much for watching and for all of your support. Remember to subscribe, like, comment, turn notifications on. Please comment because it really helps me out in the algorithm. Also, join my Discord server and follow me on Twitter. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.